So we were just waiting a few minutes and just chit-chatting while we just get everybody going. But I think we're at, we're 5 minutes into it. So wait,
This one's for this one's for the gang. Christy, this is for the gang, not Christy, but the gang.
the gang here? Oh,
Christy,
I see. Christy and the gang. Because they're the only ones there. Christy's out of frame. So cheers to the gang that's at the table right now. Cheers. We can
what's
see
up?
you.
Cheers.
Happy, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, which is right here.
Yeah. Well, we need to get Christy back in the scene when it starts. Christy's the chef, so she's gonna be popping in and out, but I want her to enjoy herself too with learning about all the wines. And maybe you could start off right now, since before we start off with the wines, just telling us everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the wine business.
Yeah, I have been working in wine for most of my career, starting in restaurants as a young pup. That was over 30 years ago. And, it reminds me of a quote from a Woody Allen movie, which is from, I believe it's Annie Hall, where he says, "Those who can't do, teach, and those who can't teach Jim." It's the same with the wine industry. I started as a bike racer, and before I knew it, I was a waiter. And before then, it was just full on wine, and that was how it all started. But I'm still riding, and I still love wine 30 plus years later. And I've only learned about this much about wine in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I know. I find this, like, the more and more you learn about wine, the more you find out that you don't know anything about wine. I mean, if that's what you're alluding to, it certainly is a thing for me.
Kind of. It's changed a lot, but it's still a world of wonder.
So similarly, I actually got involved with the wine industry. Well, in a roundabout way, my family's been part of the wine industry since 1938.
Right.
For anybody who's on the Zoom that doesn't know me, I'm Annie, owner of Organic Wine Exchange, and I am proud to bring you these wines from Jeff's collection from Gran Fondo Wines. He's an importer based in LA, and my family has been in the wine industry since 1938. I did everything possible not to get into the wine industry myself. That didn't work out very well. I worked in the film industry for a while. That's where I met my husband, and then I got back into wine in a roundabout way. Fell in love with wines on my terms, but I also really, the organic side of it was really important to me, because by the time I was getting back into it, I was living a more organic lifestyle, and that's how Organic Wine Exchange started. That's the beginning of it all, and then that's how I am able to meet amazing people like Jeff and all these other importers and wineries from around the world and domestically that have all decided to produce wines made with either certified organic grapes, biodynamic wines, natural wines, you name it. So many countries are doing it. It's all everywhere. It's so prevalent. And I realized at that point I could start a business because there just wasn't enough for us as consumers to buy in stores. And that's why I got back into it. It's because I wanted it and I couldn't find it. So that's a little bit of my story.
We should also, Annie, we should note that we started our businesses right around the same time, I believe, 2013.
We both kind of hit that stride in our lives to kind of reinvent ourselves and also just explore something that was important to us, because it's never too late. And we're, somewhat of the same age, and we started our careers, jumpstarted our careers at a time where, we just chose to take that leap of faith.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what got you into the wine industry? What made you do that?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the two kind of parallel tracks in my adult life have been wine and cycling. The cycling was something I did at a competitive level in, my early 20s. And as you get, basically like I would ride 100 miles a day and then go work in a restaurant at night. A few times people didn't finish their food and I would have to finish it for them because I was so hungry all the time. But, it was one of those things where as I got a little bit older, I just started to get, because of the cycling, was basically, the synonymous with France, Italy, and Spain. And then I was working in a restaurant that served the wines of France and Italy and Spain. So I had those early mentors who were able to kind of, just serve as a conduit for me to learn and to realize that, there was a world out there of wine that was coming to me from cycling in many ways.
Yep. There's a lot of tours that exist everywhere. In every wine country that exists, there's always a bike tour.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if
less
it's
and
the same.
less probably with insurance,
Right.
I think, yeah, there's a lot of lawyers even in Slovenia, but
Right. I don't know if it's like the safest because you're not driving a car because at the same time you might be a little inebriated. So riding a bike, but you might as well fall off of
I
it.
do it. I can do it, but yeah, I don't advise it.
Let's jump into the first wine and we'll just come back to various subjects as we go. We're starting off with the sparkling wine.
Yeah.
And I want you to say that.
So the winery is called Domaine Leuve. It's obviously doesn't roll off the tongue. I mean, it looks like low, but it's called Domaine Leuve. And of course, the cute, catchy label is All You Need Is Love.
So did you guys notice that? All you need is love. Yes. But it looks like low. So that's very clever.
Yeah.
And this wine is a Cremant. So it's a sparkling, if you didn't know, sparkling wine from France that are not in the Champagne region are often called Cremant. What makes this one special?
I mean, just to start off, it's a family-owned winery. It's Etienne and Caroline Love. They founded the winery just about 30 years ago. They're in the northern part of Alsace, near Strasbourg, which is really quite far north. She's got the beautiful tech sheet, which is my handiwork. I'm not winning any awards, unfortunately, on those. But
Yeah, this is the text sheet that has some of the information if anybody wants to read along.
yeah, and obviously, we can send those to these people, but it's just one of those things where, for me, like Alsace, the key word for Alsace wines for me is purity. There's just something about the kind of purity of the wines, and of course that's the terroir of Alsace. Just really one of the most complex regions in terms of terroir and soil types. But yeah, the farming here is, we would say, Annie, very sustainable with their Demeter and AB organic. And yeah, I mean, we could talk more about the wine, but that's just a brief background on the estate and what have you. But they farm about, I want to say, 20 hectares, so about 35 acres.
Wow. So it's Alsatian wine, and I've noticed that the grape varietal is a little bit. Uh, so if again for everybody who doesn't know that much about Champagne, the main grape varietals in Champagne are Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier, and Pinot Noir. And half of this wine is Chardonnay, I noticed, and half of it is Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc is a varietal that's very abundant, I would say. I mean, I don't know about you, but in Alsace. So I see they're
Yeah.
kind of doing like this little 50-50 split.
The Chardonnay contributes a lot of the roundness, the body for these more kind of high expression sparkling wines. I mean, obviously in France with Cremant de Bourgogne, in the Blanc de Blanc style, it's going to be Chardonnay. And where else in France? I mean, we've got Cremant d'Alsace and Cremant de Bourgogne. There's other French sparkling wines, but obviously Champagne being the model, it's going to be the grape that contributes the most on the white side for serious wine. And then Pinot Blanc is acidity, freshness, kind of accessibility. It's not really structured, necessarily. So, but Chardonnay is unusual in Alsace. It's not a
Yeah, that's what I was
very,
gonna say. It's more of a wine from more Burgundy, obviously, because it's a white Burgundy, and then in
yeah,
Champagne region. So it's interesting that it kind of plays on both. Uh, and notice that you have some other wines from this brand. We're not going to be sampling all the wines for those who don't have the wines with them right now. we're doing one wine from 4 different wineries. So this is one of the wines from All You Need Is Love. But what are some of the other wines that this brand?
They do different tiers. I mean, it's like I would just say that one of my most memorable wine tastings over my 30-year career was in Alsace, probably like 20 years ago at a winery that, when you talk about Alsace, you're talking about four main varieties: Riesling, Gewürztraminer, um, Pinot Blanc, and
Pinot
also
Gris.
like Muscat.
Okay.
And from there, there's like Auxerrois and other, Cremants. So I think I tasted like 100 wines in one day, which was for me a record at the time, still is. But there's just, so many different, like the harvest, there's a late harvest, there's SGN, which are full on botrytis dessert wines. And Domaine Love does produce a lot of wines, but for me, it's mostly about the Riesling, although they do also Gewürztraminer, and some other grapes, and Grand Crus as well, which are the more serious wines.
And what are the ones that you have available? I remember we were possibly going to do a Riesling, which we might do.
Yeah, I have a wine from them called I have an orange wine. I have three Rieslings, an orange wine, and the sparkling wine. So five total, three Riesling.
So anything that he has, I have access to. So if you're into Rieslings, if you're into trying out more of the adventurous orange wines, all these wines, he mentioned, kind of alluded to the fact that they're biodynamic and organic. So we're kind of like hitting the cannon out with everything on this wine. We have organic, we have biodynamic, we have natural wine. So organic is basically organic, certified organic grapes, just like if you were to buy any food product that was certified organic. Biodynamic is certified by that organization called Demeter right there. It's a symbol that's an international symbol. It's one of the only symbols in wine that's can be used in all regions. So it's called Demeter, and that's a certification for biodynamics. And that basically treats the farm as one living organism, and has a lot of different attributes and preparations that they use that are very specific to the biodynamic certification. And then we have the fact that it's natural. So the natural part of it basically means that they are using native yeast, and which means you need yeast. Basically, you just need grape juice and yeast to make wine. The yeast eats the sugar converts the wine into, or converts the grape juice into the alcohol of wine. But it needs, usually a lot of wineries, to push it along faster, will have specific yeast that they buy. And wineries never used to do that back in the day. And a lot of wineries are kind of going back to that concept where they just take the yeast that's in the air, and they're not as much of a time constraint, I guess. It's really up to them. Correct me if I'm wrong with any of that, but this winery kind of hits it all.
Yeah, and I mean it's worth just kind of like in terms of like, let's say, semantics with natural wine. Because obviously like natural wine, I can see Christy and the gang are riveted as we speak. Hi Christy, and hi gang. Um but it's like when you look at a region like Alsace, it's like kind of weird to use the word natural wine because, like, we all run around. I mean, I run around California all the time, and it's just like, everywhere you go, it's like, hey, dude, I got some natural wines, man. It's like made in a garage in like the East Bay of Oakland, and then it's kind of taken off from there to just be this sort of like term that the trade has embraced. But wine production in Alsace goes back, hundreds of years, and nobody was talking about, this kind of hipster reference of natural. So, yeah, we just say organic or biodynamic.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. How does everybody liking this wine? Oh, they like it so much their glasses are empty. I'm a bad host. We started a little bit earlier because we needed to get some photos, and we are going to go on to the next wine soon, but we do have some extra of any of these wines.
I guess Charisse threw up a heart. Is that a good sign?
What?
Charisse threw up a heart. What does that mean?
Well, I think, that's like the Zoom these days. You can react. Do you think
Or
heart?
you can put up emojis?
I think heart is one of the only ones. Maybe there's like a clapping one or something like that. I think now also you can do something like if you're clapping, it will I don't know. I
I
didn't do it,
see.
but
I
it's
love
smart.
it.
It shows up a little
Charisse
clapping
loves,
symbol. It's very smart that way.
she's keeping a low profile, but she loves the wine. Charlie is really getting frothed up as well.
He's really into it.
You can
You
do.
can tell. I saw his forehead move a little.
Oh no, he's doing rockets. So wait, I think Charlie has some modern, much more modern. Oh wait, I see him too. Oh wow, I could do it. Okay, you guys, this is where we're getting really distracted here, but I just did the rockets. I found it. Okay, there's the reactions.
That's great.
All right, us old people, Jeff, we don't know about
I
this.
know.
Oops,
No, I love it. This is incredible. Denise is trying to say something, but she's
I know
stuck in that photo.
Yeah, well, we'll blame Cherie. She started it. You know, before we move on to next wine, I do have to ask you, Christy, you want to share the appetizers that you paired with, or food item that you paired with the All You Need Is Love?
The All You Need Is Love, I did a strawberry caprese salad with blood orange balsamic.
Oh my God.
It really paired well with it.
So what kind of salad, or what salad?
It was a strawberry caprese, so strawberries, mozzarella, basil, and then a blood orange balsamic.
So instead of
Christy, how soon can I get there?
Well, it depends on where you're at.
I'm in Glendale, California.
No, I'm in North Dakota now.
I mean, unfortunately, Christy, you'll never find these wines like in your local wine store.
It's a good thing I have Annie to ship them to me.
But Annie, we've got Annie, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually part of the conversation, Jeff. Is a conversation we had when Christy first started doing this. Like, she does this all the time on her own. She buys wines and she does food pairings and she shares them with her family and friends and she posts pictures. So she's doing it regardless of our virtual tasting. But when she saw that she could do it with wine she can't even get there.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's super. It's exciting. So is everybody tasting this wine or is it just the gang?
Mostly
there's six of us here right now.
And there's
I mean, is Christy, would you say it's a little funky? Like you could be honest. I didn't make it.
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta try it because it's an interesting wine because it does have about 3 days of skin contact. Maceration on the skins, but this is an unusual wine for many reasons. I mean, nobody really knows anything about wine from Lazio. Lazio is the region of Rome, and was really just a backwater for tourists from Rome, drinking a wine called Est with exclamation points. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that.
Yes, I actually just went through that in my wine class.
Yeah, I mean, you would never see those wines imported into the US generally, maybe in, like New York or something, but this is a very unusual wine, for a lot of reasons. First of all, he's the only producer in his town that, his territory is south of Rome. There's so much history. I mean, these are wines that you could talk about for days. Just, the history of wine in Lazio goes back to Roman times. So 2,000 years ago, Pius VI was pounding Bologna, which goes back before Michelangelo, and those days, which were in the 1500s. These are ancient grapes that were drank by the Romans. The grape here is called Bellone. It's a very unusual white variety. I mean, he didn't have any vine material when Marco wanted to. He started his winery in 2017. The winery is called Tomei. And just a little side note is some of my friends here in LA, the sommeliers, will text me because Marissa Tomei loves these wines, which I'm not making up. I wish I was.
Is it spelling the name?
It's the same, yeah. And I told Marco, his name is Marco Tomei. I go, Marco, Marissa Tomei, she's like won the Oscar, my cousin Vinny. I go, she loves your wine. He goes, who is that? So I love that. I love that he didn't know who she was.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very unusual wine. Super funky on the nose, but then, very lot cleaner on the palate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just, the best for, in my opinion, the best skin contact or orange wines are from grapes that have really thick skins. And as we know from red wine, most of the color, the tannin, the compounds that make wine what it is come from the skins, the seeds of the grape. So, if you take like a very kind of feeble, thin skin, like let's say Riesling, which is a wonderful grape, but has very thin skins, we don't see a lot of orange wine made from these types of grapes. It's usually like, Ribolla Gialla or, even Vermentino or something like this from Italy, where there's a lot more kind of complexity in the grape variety. So, but it's not a long maceration. It's about 3 days on the skins, and it gives it just enough, I think, for me, it's texture. It's not so much funky, earthy, kind of like kombucha type of flavors, which we can tend to associate with like orange wines.
I didn't even know until you poured that you started describing it, because it is still quite light, but now I could see it. Not only is it kind of a little bit darker, it's also got a little bit of the uh, unfiltered sediment and stuff in it, which is pretty common with orange wines.
Bologna is usually made as a, I say usually, but I don't think you could find more than maybe 5 examples. I mean, it's worth mentioning when we talk about Italian grapes, we're basically talking about hundreds of different varieties, because with Italy, we've got 20 autonomous regions. And of course, each one has their own extremely unique and historical wine culture. So, whether we're in Piedmont, we're talking about Timorasso, Arnese, um, or Beluche, it's infinite in terms of the different varieties we could talk about. So when we're talking about Bologna, we're just talking about a hyper local wine production. And for me, the kind of signature wine Tomei makes is a red called Cesanese, which is really a wonderful red wine.
So Christy, I'm gonna call on you again. What did you pair? What did you decide to pair with this wine?
Hello.
You're good.
I paired a lemon thyme baked ricotta on crostini, and it actually enhanced the lemon and almost this herbaceousness coming from the wine as well. For
Yeah,
us, some of us here it was a little harsh on the back end when you drank it by itself, but adding that ricotta baked in it, it just smoothed everything out.
Yeah, I mean, like most Italian wines, I would say don't even think about drinking them without food, right?
Yep.
It's like committing the first deadly sin.
Exactly. And we would know that since we're at the Last Supper.
Yeah, you are at the Last Supper. But you know what, Christy? You have so many Last Suppers. You have a Last Supper weekly, almost daily.
I know, right?
I love how you're just living it up with all the good food and good wine.
It looks like the gang is really getting riled up from this one.
Yeah, hold it down. Hold down, hold on.
I'm gonna put on some Cool in the Gang, like Christy with like cool with a K.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So how's everybody liking this wine? It's a little different. It's got a lot of body.
Right. What about Sherry? Do you like it?
Sherry, do you like the wine?
She likes it.
She's on mute.
Okay. She's
blowing kisses. So she's doing the old fashioned emoji.
She's saying like abbondanza.
Yeah. So for those
Charlie,
of you who don't know, some of you do, but for those of you who don't know, Sherry's my mom, and she started me on my wine tasting journey. In a way, our whole family has definitely been in the wine business since before I was born, but my mom was the one who spearheaded wine tasting trips around the world, most specifically here in our own region of California. And she would take people on wine trips via plane, trains, automobiles, but mostly planes and buses. And go search them out old school. Didn't have a GPS, didn't have any kind of navigation. So she would figure out how to get there and maps and be there right there with the bus driver leading about 30 to, I don't know, 40 people.
Does she still live in Long Beach?
No, she's in Palm Springs now.
Palm Springs, but the shop was in Long Beach, you told me, right?
Yep.
Where does Charlie live?
I live in Delray Beach, Florida.
Oh, I'm gonna be there in a few weeks. My mom lives in Delray.
Oh, small world.
We'll be at my favorite restaurant, the Key Grill in Boca.
Okay. I'm relatively new I moved here last June, so I'm relatively
Okay.
but we should
If
meet
you
up.
like dining with senior citizens, you'll hit the Key Grill.
Hey, we live in very similar communities there when it comes to that.
We all do, yeah.
Yep. So how are we doing? Are we ready for the next wine? We're on to reds. The first red we're gonna do is the Mencia.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Really, really, really cool bottle. I mean, just the labeling itself, but you know.
It's incredible. It's such a great wine, and I'm excited. I mean,
I saw
you
something.
know. Well, okay, well, hopefully the gang and some folks have the bottle. I can see the gang have it, yeah.
Oh yeah, the gang has it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
right
see
there.
the bottle. It sticks out.
Can't miss it. Yeah,
You want me to talk a little bit about Veronica and her background?
Yes, please.
Veronica Ortega her family is from Cadiz in southern Spain. She grew up, that's a wine production region, sherry or Jerez, but it's not, her family wasn't in wine production. Her father was a bullfighter. The word quite, which is the name of the wine, is a bullfighting term. It means to draw the bull away, which is what I often do on my bike when I'm getting plowed down by motorists. I just try to brush them aside. So the wine is from a region called Bierzo, which is in the larger autonomous region of Castilla-León in north central Spain. And the grape is Mencia. That's very typical. There's not really any other red. I mean, there are some other red varieties, but they're much less, prevalent. Veronica herself got into wine in sometime in the 2000s. Her first experience professionally was working in Priorat with a female and iconic winemaker named Daphne Glorion. I don't know if you've heard of her, Annie.
No, I haven't.
So Daphne is the winemaker it's called Clos Erasmus, one of the famous Priorat, one of the original 4 wineries in Priorat. Priorat is in Catalonia, which is just south of Barcelona. But so Veronica worked there. She then went on got some experience in New Zealand, of all places. But really, her focus was in France. She did a harvest at DRC, one of the famous, most hallowed 3 letters you could have in wine, Domaine de la Romanicanti. So she worked a stage there. She worked at a very famous Burgundy estate called Comte Armand in Pommard. She was then an assistant winemaker in the Northern Rhone, an estate called Combier. And then in about 2012, she went back. She was fascinated with this Bierzo region, and with the help of one of the most iconic figures in Spanish winemaking now, Raúl Perez. She started making her wines at his winery in about 2012. The thing that drew Veronica to this region was this kind of like focus on these on terroir, these very diverse soil types in this region, as well as the old vines. which she discovered was incredible. Just these very, treasured old vine that were, like fairly affordable. So her Quite that you're tasting is made from over 90-year-old Mencia vines, which is really, I mean, for a wine, this is like a great value, for a wine, let's say $30 or under, to taste wines of this age. And Veronica works without any certifications, but she does work organic. She tries to work minimal intervention, meaning she uses spontaneous fermentations and native yeasts and minimal sulfur additions for bottling.
Well, it's really nice. It's very light. It feels like it could be a chillable wine.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah, it's not super full bodied, so very light. It could go with.
It's quite elegant and still at the same time kind of has a lot of those like red berry aromas and flavors, which, very savory wine. But she makes some very high expression wines as well, which are really quite expensive, very high scoring Bierzo wines. When she started, she made, I think, just 2 reds, the Quite and a wine called Rock. The Rock is probably about $70 retail. And she made a white wine as well, which is very unusual in Bierzo, from a grape called Godello, which is wonderful.
That's
But
a white wine. White grape.
yeah, it's a white. It's a white. They found the limestone soils, but it's really incredible when you see what she's accomplished. I mean, this part of Spain is very male dominated, with, kind of like this machismo, male, like the dude winemaker culture. And, Veronica it's a very known. If you look at her like Instagram or what have you, I mean, she has a huge following. And really, this is the signature wine that, if you're going to go to a restaurant or have a wine by the glass or a daily wine, this is the wine.
I love it. Okay, thank you. And what about you, Christy? What do you have paired with this wine?
With this, I did a venison stuffed mushroom.
Christy, I'm heading to the airport now.
Sounds good.
You're welcome.
Come on over. You're welcome anytime.
I'm going to bring like a backpack and a sleeping bag.
There's a couch. This is a very nice wine, though. Was this one? Yes, I was reading online about these wines to do the pairings, and it said that this is the Mencia, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mencia likes rosemary, and more like herb de Provence herbs. It enhances the flavor, so that's why I did the venison stuffed mushroom with some rosemary, thyme, more scarlet affair, parsley kind of thing.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it's usually it's pretty floral and kind of juicy and should be great with the richness of the venison and the kind of earthiness of the mushroom. I can see the gang is really in accordance with that.
They're just winding up right now. Actually, it's 7 p.m. there, so this is just, they've been there since 5.
It's almost 8, yes. And then next up for the Temrpanillo, I am pairing a chorizo and cranberry pizza with pickled red onions and jalapenos.
Okay, now I'm losing. This is me losing my mind.
For those who are watching, that anybody who's in the wine business, like they're obviously have palate, like they're very palate driven, which means we all love food. I mean, you can't have wine without food and vice versa. So we're foodies, right?
Yes.
I know. Probably I'll be eating dinner the second we zoom out.
So how do you guys like this wine, the first red?
What does Annie's gang say?
Charlotte's actually the cook in the group. She's a very, very good cook. I mean, I don't know, actually, There's a few good cooks in the group, but I want to leave that up to you. Okay. What else can we do besides venison? Something with rosemary and mushrooms. She said
I
she's
mean,
never-
I don't know how much venison they have in northern Spain, but probably like some nice beef, you know, like a grilled steak of some sort.
If you want to substitute Italian sausage or something, or turkey, ground turkey, whatever you could do, and you could spice it up.
Or beef.
Love that.
Or beef.
So how's everybody doing? I think we're gonna, oh no, we still got a sip or two left here. Anything else you can tell us about Veronica and the Pite? Pite, is that how you pronounce it?
I mean, you know, I think to me, as somebody who works with her wines in California, I mean, she has an incredible, you could see that she has this kind of undeniable style with her wines. And when, you know, you see her kind of, you know, look on her Instagram or just pictures about her online, she has an incredible curiosity for making, you know, as natural kind of wines as possible, but also, you know, really like respecting local traditions. For example, she has this wine comes from a village called Valtuye de Abajo, and then she has two reds that come from another area in Bierzo, which are made with white grapes, because that's how the vineyards are planted in Bierzo. Is in certain areas they're just traditionally planted, like co-planted with red and white grapes. I mean, if you went to like Napa and you saw like just, you know, Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay planted next to this like $800 a bottle cab, you know, you would freak out, you know, because you'd be like, oh my God. But you know, she really is invested in that kind of local culture, and her wines are very unique and really worth seeking out. You know, the most famous name in Bierzo is Raul Perez, but you know, it's become an important wine region where, you know, 20 years ago, we wouldn't be having a discussion about this region. So it just goes to show you how, you know, Spain has really become an important production country.
So does anybody have any questions I don't see, oh, Cherise said she loved the wine a while ago, so it was probably an earlier wine.
Cherise, send us an emoji. Come on.
Come on, Cherise, he wants emojis.
Give me something here. I'm staring at a black and white screen. There she goes.
I got hearts. I said some
Sarah,
hearts.
is Sarah there? Where's Sarah? Let's see Sarah. I think people are eating dinner and they just leave their Zoom on.
Yes. Let me see. Let's see if I could do. All right, I'm doing emoji. Let's see if this works. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh my gosh, Charlie, you opened up a can of worms right there.
High tech.
You need to be doing this. All right, on to the last wine of the evening. We have a Temrpanillo we're going to be ending with.
We're tasting a Rioja now from 2022 vintage from Bodegas Marazza. It comes from a village called San Vicente de la Sonciera. This is Rioja, specifically the subzone called Rioja Alta. Rioja has three subzones: Rioja Alavesa, Rioja Baja, Rioja Alta. What's interesting about, for me, the wine, there's a lot of things interesting, but you know, Rioja Alta are generally wines from higher elevations. So we know about higher elevations that will have a greater temperature shift between, you know, day and nighttime, which theoretically should give us, you know, maybe lower alcohol or a pronounced freshness in the wine. Bodegas Marazza is a husband and wife. It's Janir Marazza and Patricio Brango. Janir is a fourth generation Marazza. The winery is built with only cement, and that's really the first thing to mention in terms of what makes this winery so unique. You won't find any oak barrels here. And for people like, like Sherry and Annie and I, who have been in the wine industry a long time, one thing that you know about Rioja is that it's generally aged in American oak traditionally. And, that can be polarizing for people like me who really look for a certain purity in wine, either purity of fruit, the purity of the terroir, which is not masked by, with American oak. It's like dill and cedar and kind of like eucalyptus notes, or even French barrels, which can be, high toast, coffee, vanilla, what have you. So for me, again, the kind of the signature that I love about this wine is the freshness that comes from these kind of high elevation. We're with the winery farms 23 hectares, um, and their vines are all between 400 and about 630 meters above sea level, which is, about 1,600 feet to, 2,000 feet above sea level. And like the first wine we tasted and the second. So like the Domaine Love and the Temrpanillo Bellone, the Marazza Rioja is certified organic as well as Demeter. And, it's a great value. And that's the thing when they make, Bodegas Marazza makes white wine from Viura. They're all wonderful, fresh wines. They make rosé. They have about 5 reds. I currently have 3 wines from this winery in my portfolio, but this is the driver, and people who taste this wine really love it. Everybody seems to know Tempranillo as a kind of daily driver of a Spanish wine variety, like you said, Annie. But yeah, there's a tech sheet. Always, my wonderful tech sheets. But, very kind of just fruity, delicious, very savory. It has a 12% alcohol. It might even be less. I think it's 12. And absolutely crushable daily Spanish red.
Yeah, 12.5, which is very low. That's a great, great, especially for having lunch, siestas kind of thing. You don't want a high alcohol wine in the middle of the day. And as you know, a lot of Europeans do drink
Are you
midday.
guys tasting it, Annie? Does your team have it over there?
Yeah, we have it.
What do you guys think? I mean, it's still, is it delicious or is that just me?
They like it. It's delicious, they said.
You can tell they're low blood sugar. They need a little cheese.
Yeah, we've had the board's pretty low there.
Oh, wow.
We have some Spanish cheeses. My friend Jeanette brought some cheese from a Basque store.
In the Basque Country, País Vasco, they love Rioja. So this is an example of everyday wine. Annie, I saw you had it for $23.
I think so. I think I priced it based on it's a really good value.
I think it's a great value, and it's really, and Annie, and probably your mom knows, well, maybe not buying wine as much as a business, but the prices have creeped up so much now where, you're probably seeing wines all the time that are, $27, $30, which like a lot of importers and distributors think like, oh, like that's a cheap wine, under 30, but it's really quite expensive, for a wine you're going to drink and, so this is really at $23. I do feel strongly about this wine. The sustainability is wonderful. The fermentation here is all spontaneous yeast. It's on the tech sheet, but it's fermented in cement, and then it's you know, the élevage, the aging is about 9 months in cement, and then they age it another about 6 months in bottle before it's released. This is a current vintage 22. I have more of it coming, which fortunately beat the tariffs, because this wine, which would be 23, probably, Annie, if you were to reorder it, could be, you know, it won't be tariffed on my next arrival, but you know, could go to $26, $27.
Yeah, hopefully it won't. But you know, you never know. So it's always good to. I always tell people. I have people who are buying wine right now that's like 2 to 5 cases at a time, just in case. You know,
Smart,
it's not gonna go
very
bad. So
smart.
why not? Just I swear, I have,
Just in case.
just in case. Yeah, it's 5 cases just in case. Yeah, I've been having people buy all the time in larger quantities than normal. So you know, it's that the wine doesn't go bad. So if you have the extra income.
We have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
Cement. Aged in cement.
Yes, and they have a question about the age in cement. And most people are used to like the whole barrel maybe aging and not used to the whole idea of what cement. And then there was the other one, the amphora things that from the white wine, that the orange wine that I saw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that-
I mean, you know, it's just very simple. It's theoretically is, you know, the clay, terracotta, you know, for the amphora or the cement, you know. It's just a different type of vision where, you know, you're looking for the freshness. There, in other words, we won't find the oxidation, the very slow oxidation that we'll find in barrel-aged wines, again, which typically are made in these regions and in Rioja, especially more than other regions. So the cement is just a way, you know, there's going to be much less oxidation in cement. There's still a very slow kind of, you know, the oxidation process is it changes the wine. It's so, you know, a wine that is aged in steel tank will be completely just impervious to any sort of changes as the young wine ages, you know, very young wine.
So would you kind of pair it like as a different version of stainless steel? Like they're not, you know, stainless steel is a no.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhere between like wood, you know, barrel, like oak. I mean, obviously, like large wooden barrels, like we see in Italy, like as they call bottes, or you know, you'll see anywhere. This is somewhere like in the middle, in the sense just that you know, cement will still allow for the oxidation, but it than it is in wood. You know, the wood not only ages the wine, it also fixes the color, particularly in the smaller size barrels, like Veronica's Quite is aged in 228 liter French oak barrels, as well as tonneaus, which are about 600 liters, so quite a bit bigger. But, you know, theoretically, you should see just from even this tasting that the difference in color between like the Quite for reds, you know, Marco Tomé's Bellone is aged in cement, and I want to say amphora, but I believe it's just cement. So, you know, cement is,
the amphora, but I might have been some of her other wines, maybe.
yeah, he uses amphora for his red, the Cesanese, and he makes a red called Abuoto. But you know, it's like what's old is new again, you know, and cement, like the Marazza winery was built in 1983. It's over 40 years ago, and it's pretty progressive that they built it. It's all gravity flow. So the idea is just to have this kind of like minimal exposure, you know, to the wine, to air, and to keep it as clean as possible. So again, with that Rioja Marazza, you know, should just be really like fresh, fun, you know, like really savory, delicious, you know, not so much about the secondary flavors that you get from aging a wine, but you know, more about the kind of like the fruity flavors and the drink, just the delicious kind of grape flavors that we get.
Did that answer your question? I think that more than answered a question, to be honest.
Well, I think, yeah, sorry, I need
No,
a
it's all
bike
good.
ride.
It's all good.
I guess I got to meet up with Christy and the gang and take a ride in the
let's do
Blackfoot.
one last roundup with Christy and the gang and find out how what are their favorites.
Cheers. Honestly, I loved the Cremant.
Oh wow!
Absolutely loved the Cremant, and the strawberry caprese went great with it. What do you guys think? What's your favorite?
I like the Temrpanillo too.
Yeah, I think the
Perhaps the best Temrpanillo I've ever tasted.
Wow, love it.
I'll send you a Da Vinci painting later as a payback.
Yes. Come eat
Since
chorizo pizza.
When I see the gang, I think of the Last Supper. I don't know. It's like the framing. It's like the painting in the middle. It's like the eye goes right to the perfect middle. No, I really appreciate it. Charlie, it was great talking with you, and Denise, if I could have seen you, I would have spoken with you. I think she's cooking dinner because we haven't gotten an emoji out of it.
We love
Mark
you,
is on
Denise.
his, hopefully Mark's not driving because he's on his iPhone. Where do you live again, Josie?
I live in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Did you go to the baseball, all the training camps?
I did not go.
Okay. It's probably for the best. I saw the Dodger game last night. That was wonderful.
There's always something going on in Phoenix, though.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bianco pizza.
Yes.
That, I mean, these wines would be nice with that, with like a white pizza with the bologna. But yeah, no, I hope everybody enjoyed the wines. Please buy them from Annie, you know. The ones that I still have, she'll email me and she'll
Right,
be
there's
upset.
one that you sold out of potentially. We'll have to follow up on that. I don't want to scare anybody, so I'll follow up to see if that one was sold out or not. But yeah, so thank you so much, Jeff, for a wonderful evening of wine and education. And can't wait
Thanks,
to see you again.
Charisse came on. That was so nice.
Aw,
Yeah.
Very
got a
sweet.
heart from Charisse. Thank you, Charisse. We love
Thank you
you.
guys.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Thank you guys. I know Mark is trying to send like a heart emoji.
We love you, Mark.
Charlie, thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
trying.
Annie, thank you so much. You know, it's dinner time, so let's circle back. Let's do another one eventually. All right, guys, thank you so much. And dinner
Thanks,
time.
Jeff. Yes,
Dinner
it is
time.
dinner time. Well, for some people already, it's like East Coast time. They're going to bed. I know we're kind of full. But
Sorry,
thank you
Christy.
again. It was a pleasure, and can't wait
Thanks.
to do it again. We know how many wines that you have, so we'll do it another one.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye,
Ciao,
Annie.
ciao, ciao, ciao,
Bye,
ciao, ciao.
Jessie.
I know.
So great
Ciao.
to see you. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Sherry. See you next time.